Hey everyone! Welcome back to Sip and Chat, where we spill the tea on life lessons. I'm Anna.
And I'm Angela.
And welcome back to another episode here on Sip and Chat.
Yeah.
Today we are going to be talking about, should I quit?
Dun dun dun.
I feel like I should, but no, I shouldn't. I financially cannot do that.
I wonder how many times people think about quitting in a day.
Girl,
I
I'm pretty sure
wonder.
it's every day.
Yeah.
Today for me exactly was like 14 times.
No, today for me was hard at work.
Today for me at work was the test of patience, honestly.
I can only imagine because thinking about what we were talking about the last episode, or you reiterated that you worked with children, I was like, how does Anna do it?
Girl, I don't know. Honestly, which is funny though, because you know me. I have no adult patience. Like, I really don't.
No.
I have no patience for adults. It's just not my forte. And I tell people, like, don't feel bad. It's just me. I am the problem. But,
No.
but for children, for some odd reason, yeah, they get under my skin sometimes. And they do make me mad. But honestly, I feel like at the end of the day, it's just like, well, there were some cute moments there and stuff like that. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's just because you know that they're learning.
Yeah.
And you understand that, okay, yeah, it makes you mad, but they don't know. So they really are learning to, how to conduct themselves.
Yeah, and communicate too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and that I feel like that's the hardest thing that people don't understand, that when you work with children, it's not the behavior, it's just you feel the lack of communication.
Yeah.
Because you feel like they should understand, but maybe they really don't, but they don't know how to tell you that they don't understand. So it's just, it's weird. Like, I don't know. I feel like kids humble you in a way that you never would think, but they really do. But no, we're not going to quit our jobs.
No.
In this economy, it is not affordable. But we are
hard.
For real. But we are going to be talking about strategies for establishing work-life balance. Because as we all know, sometimes we tend to carry our work life into our home life. And sometimes even at work, we don't know how to establish, priorities, peace, and our mental health, boundaries is a big one. And then, sometimes it's the reason why you feel like, I don't want to be here. And it could be a job that you truly love, but because you haven't been able to find that harmony in your, work life, it's really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, everything needs harmony. Even your home life needs, a bit of harmony. But I like that you said boundaries, because that's the first thing we're going to be talking about. Establishing and protecting boundaries. It is really hard to set boundaries sometimes, because I feel like you feel as if you're failing someone or you're being too pushy. And sometimes you can get a lot of pushback too. But I do understand that it is an important thing, because you have to be self-aware that you are valuable and your mental health is also valuable. I don't know, from an admin, point of view, like, how do you establish boundaries?
With establishing boundaries, I feel like it would have to do more with the workload. But in my department, well, in the department I work with, I feel like each of us has a specific role. So we sort of do have boundaries. But what happens is it can get a little bit overwhelming, because it just comes to a point where it's a lot of work. And I think that's where we get burdened out. We just feel tired. And yeah, thoughts begin to cross our mind, right? But I feel like it's because it's so much work. Because right now, in where I work, of course, people get other opportunities and then they decide to leave. which is totally understandable because, of course, everyone wants to progress. Everyone wants to make more money. So people change roles, change jobs, change places. And it just becomes more on the people that are left behind. And I feel like balancing that is a struggle, or it's a challenge.
And how do you go about like saying no to things?
I just say no. No, sometimes you just have to say no. I do think you have to establish boundaries because in the long run, you don't want your spouse or your children, let's say whenever we have children, to grow up with a resentment, that, oh, you chose this before me, you chose that before me. So I think that boundaries really need to be established in those times or in those seasons, because there are seasons for everything in life, right? Like we talked last podcast as well. There are seasons, things change, people change, places change. The whole world changes, your emotions change, your likes change.
Yes, very
but
much.
you do have to set those boundaries if, in my opinion, you want to be successful, you want to be healthy, you want to grow.
I do believe that work never ends. Like work at home, work at work, work is everywhere. It's just different types of work is what I always say. But I know for my work, I have learned, because there's been a time where I was a teacher in the classroom and I had my own classroom, and I did have to establish boundaries. Especially when I speak for boundaries, it's more on parent teacher boundaries, because sometimes I do get kids here and there where I've been friends with the family for a long time, and that's where it gets really tricky for me. Because, we text on the daily, kind of thing, and they'll sit there and start asking me, things about work outside of work hours. And that's where I kind of like, at first, it didn't bother me as much, but then it started to become like texting me in the middle of the day or things like that. And it's like I need you to follow the rules like everyone else does. And I know, like, I'm pretty sure they don't mean, any kind of harm or anything like that. And I do understand that sometimes, life can get hectic. But I had to learn, especially my first year, I still remember, I had to learn how to establish that boundary. And I remember at the time, my director, I was talking to her and she had said something, and then she was like, you need to let your parents know that you are only available through communication from the time you are at work till the time you get off work. And that is it. And you will no longer answer. And you will answer them the next business day, which is whatever day you come back to work. And it was a little hard at first, because I do remember my first year, I had a parent that I was really good friends with. I got along really, really well. But it started to become a little annoying, because I was sending things home. Like, I'll send you your newsletter. Like, I'm that teacher. I will send you your calendar from the beginning of the year to the end of the year with all your important dates on it. I will send you a text message, an email, or usually it's always a text, email, or a text and a little paper slip with the flyer on it to tell you for like reminders if it's picture day, if I need this, or if anything. Or I'll send you like a group text and be like, hey, just a reminder, this is going on this day, please don't forget, kind of thing. I will let you know. Like,
well, you are so creative too. Like, everything she makes is so cute. I'm like, how do you come up with that?
Girl, I don't even know. But I try, because I try to make sure that, parents, I get it, they work, so I try to make sure that they remember things. And I try to be mindful of that too. But with this parent, it was like I would send things home, and then you were texting me to like tell me, well, what are we going to do for this? I'm like, well, I already sent all of that. And it was, at first, the first few times, it was like, okay, whatever. Then after that, it was starting to become really annoying. And then the favors started. And that's where I was kind of like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that I don't want to. It's just really, if I do it for you, I have to do it for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So then, one gets whiff of, oh, well, she does it for them. So then if I remember that first year, oh my gosh.
And people will know.
Yes. So I learned, and I remember that my second year, I still remember. I remember going into that parent-teacher conference because when we meet the parents, like the first, we get to know their kid. They get to come and meet the classroom before the actual first day of school. I still remember that. I sat there and I had my little checklist down and I said of what I was going to cover. And on one of the things it said, I gave them a flyer, like, because we have to give them like a get to know the teacher kind of thing, and it tells you a little bit about us. And on the bottom it said contact information, and I wrote it in bold letters. And I remember I touched upon it on when we were having our parent teacher conferences, and I said, I'm only available these days. I'm like, do not call me if it's not an emergency where something happened, or like it's just like horrific. If it's textable, send it in a text and I will answer you whenever I can. But these are my hours, and if I don't answer you by this time, then you probably won't get a message from me until the next day. And I even told them, I said, the group chat is not for y'all to be messaging back and forth. I'm like, it is for me to tell you what is going on in our classroom. I don't need a response. I just need you to see it. If I ever need a response, I will say, please let me know that you saw this. I'm like, but I won't, because I send home like 7 other alerts with you, so you know what's going on. It felt uncomfortable the first time I did it, because I wasn't used to like that type of boundary, and I felt like it was I felt very mean. But then I realized that parents were just like, oh, okay, that's fine, that's okay, thank you for letting us know. And I had actually one parent that came up to me and said, she's like, thank you for just putting your like that information out there, because that helps me to know when I can get in contact with you, and that year ran so much smoother. So from there, I took that upon myself, like, okay, this is the kind of boundary that I do want to set. Even with the parents that I did have that I did know really well, I would tell them, be like, hey, since you're in my classroom, anything work group related, it's during work hours and you have to follow along like everyone else. I'm like, no like ill intent or anything. It's just that if I do it for you, I have to do it for everybody else. That's where I learned how to put boundaries. Now, in between coworkers, I know you were talking about like workload. So majority of the time, as teachers, we have like co-teachers. When I first started working in like kind of childcare, I would be that one that would come in and be like, what do you need help with? What can I help you with? Da, da, da. And I would say yes to everything. Soon I started to pick up because I would say yes to everything. They would lay everything on me to do. And one, I wasn't getting the pay, nor did I have the title to be doing these things. Like, I'm not doing your job for you. It does get some people to get mad with me sometimes, and I have noticed that, because they'll get snippy, and I'll be like, it's your job. You're the one getting paid for it. You're the one that has the title. Like, I'm sorry. But when it was my turn to be the lead teacher and to have a teacher assistant, I also made sure that I was very mindful that if it pertained to me to do, that I would never like leave my teacher assistant feeling as if she was holding everything together, because I knew what that felt that, and it just did not like that. So I was like, okay, there's a boundary between, respect. Like, it's cool whenever, someone is like, I have some of my teachers would, catch on and be like, oh, let me help you with this so we can get it done quicker. I have time. I don't got nothing else to do. I'm like, oh, okay. But it wasn't like an everyday thing, So I've learned that. But I do feel like boundaries do help a better workflow, and it does also help with like the communication and like the trust you have between each other. Because I feel like when we don't set like those boundaries, you're really afraid to come to that person and be like, hey, I'm having trouble with this, because you feel like, you owe to do something, or you feel as if you're bound to do certain things that you're not comfortable with. But it is, I can't say it is a little hard to.
It is because I feel like we're not, well, I don't know if you are either or if you are. But I feel like I'm not a confrontational person. And in a way, I think that sort of is confronting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're telling them your
Yeah.
boundaries. And I'm not a confrontational person. I don't teach little kids, but I do teach adult ESL students. With them, I did have to set some boundaries in like the texting platform. In that texting platform, I had to tell them beforehand, you cannot give my number out to anybody. It has to stay with y'all. I had established that communication with them real quick, because then I would get text messages or calls back to back, and I was like, who is this? And it would be people that were given my teacher number.
Why is it they never listen?
I don't know. But I love them. I love them.
See, this is my thing with adults. Because I feel like I have this issue with my parents sometimes. Because I feel like I'm very specific with instructions. And then I have them parents that defy everything that I say. And then they have all these questions, and it's like, if you would have listened to me the way that I told you the first time, you would not have this question. Or we would not have this issue right now. And this is why I say I do not have patience for adults. I am that teacher that if you walk up into a parent-teacher conference and you see a look on my face, my look says everything. My words never match the looks on my face. We have worked really hard with all my teachers, my directors, and everything to work on that. Because they literally tell me all the time, Anna, fix your face. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like, if you ask me a dumb question, I'm just going to look at you like, okay, whatever. But I don't mean to. It's just that in my head, it's like, I really don't want to be here right now, because honestly, what you're asking me, to me, it's a waste of time.
Yeah. And
I don't want to answer you, because I'm literally about to go and like smack you on the side of the head, because I'm like, what don't you understand? This is why I always tell myself, God did not let me work with adults, because honestly, I would be in jail. Like, I just don't have that in me. Because even like, I notice it even like with my friends sometimes. They'll say something and I'm just like, what?
Really?
She could testify that I will literally look at you and be like, oh, you're so special.
You've said it too.
Oh my God. And I don't mean to. It's just that I don't know what it is, but I feel like in my head.
You've told me I'm special.
Yeah, but I love her. I really do. I love everyone. I never like have any ill intent or anything. It's just that in my head, when it processes,
it just comes out.
Yeah, and then I feel like if I understand, you should understand. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand why you don't understand. So I've been working on that really hard. And I feel like I've gotten better. I feel like I've gotten better to the point where I just don't say nothing. Like, my posture and everything does changes, but I kind of stay quieter now about things. I'm like, you don't always have to speak your opinion. They probably really didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
Now, there are times where I don't mean to. I feel like my words come out.
Just comes naturally.
Yeah, like, it's just like, oh, my bad.
Let me take that back.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, it's too late now. But, I mean, I'm a work in progress. But
we all are.
But I don't know. I just, like I said, it is really hard with boundaries. It's really hard to establish them. And it is really good to protect them once you have them.
Yeah.
And even though it makes someone else feel uncomfortable, you know, it's there for a reason. Like, it's like I said last time in our podcast, not everyone's going to like whatever you bring to the table. It just doesn't happen. And then there's also, you know, within work life, you know, prioritizing and delegating. I've learned, you know, that some things aren't priority.
Yeah.
As a teacher, you learn that real quick. You have learned that the things that you want to do sometimes are just not the priority. Your children, for some reason, you have this plan, you have this vision, and you want to reach this goal, but that's not their priority. Their priority is what you're going to feed them, what they're going to play with, and what some cool thing that you got going on. They do not care for any of your visions. I can tell you this right now. But I have learned that there are bigger priorities within your classroom that you have to take on first before you can get to wherever you want. And it is okay that your priorities change as you go. Because, I mean, your kids learn levels of learning are never at the same,
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to be like, okay, I need to prioritize this because this is more important that they know than
for the rest of the plan.
Like, this is the most important thing. Yeah. This is the foundation. I need them to know. And also delegating. I've learned that you don't have to do everything on your own. It's why you have a co-teacher. It's why you have a director. It's why you have assistant director. It's why you have all these other things, trainings, and stuff that you actually learn about. It's why you have it. Yeah. Delegate it. Ask other people for help. I've always been very bad with delegating, but that's just a personality trait.
Me too.
Because in my head, I have to do it and it has to be done this way and that is it. But I have learned with time that sometimes delegating is not that bad. It actually works out better.
For everyone.
Yes. And then I've also learned that sometimes you just need a fresh new set of eyes on things. Because honestly, even with y'all, it's why sometimes I'll, we have our little group chats and stuff like that. I'll sit there and text y'all and be like, what do y'all think about this? And I like to get that, point of view because I don't see it from every side. And it's funny how we can all have the same issue, but it's different points of view of the issue. And it's like, huh. And then, you kind of start chattering in between each other and it's like, oh, okay, so maybe this really isn't as bad as it is. It's just, you're seeing it that way.
But especially when you text it to someone. Oh my God. Because your text messages, whenever you just send okay, I'm like, is that an okay? Okay? Or is that okay?
It's an okay. In her defense, my text messages, sometimes they don't make sense. I look back at them too and I'm like, ooh.
What is she saying?
Yeah. I'll be like, what was I talking about? But them voice message things, them things have saved me. That's all they get from me now, honestly. I don't really get
But sometimes I can't hear it because I just can't at that moment. I'm like, I guess I'm going to have to guess what it says.
No, no, that is my hardest job as a teacher. Well, now I'm no longer a teacher. I did end my last year of teaching this year. It was really sad. I really did like teaching. But everything comes, and goes, and changes happen. Right now, I'm doing program specialist, still in the educational field, but it's more working with teachers than children. If my co-teacher from the last 2 years could sit here right now, they would tell you, oh my God, her message, her text messages were horrible. Because they would literally proofread my text messages before I would send them out. Because they're like, what the heck are you saying? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trying to say whatever's on my mind. But that was one of the things that oh my God, it would give me anxiety when a parent texted me and my co-teachers weren't around or anything, because that meant that I had to do this alone. And I'm sitting here like, does this even make sense? Does this sound right? Does this sound perfect? Oh my gosh. And I would just sit there and I'd be like, oh my God, I hope it makes sense. And then I would look back at it and I'm like, oh no, it don't make sense. Now I can't fix it. It's it. Oh my God.
Yeah, and some text messages you cannot delete.
They're know.
Sent. You send them, they're sent.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you hear me say it, you understand what I'm saying. I don't know what it is about me texting or emailing. For some reason, in my mind, it made sense when I typed it out. But once I read back over it, I'm like, I don't know what that said.
Well, sometimes I think your brain goes faster than your fingers. Because I have also sent some things and I'm like, what was I saying? But in my brain, I said it, but I forgot to add that word in the text message.
And I feel like everything started since I started we started with our little slang stuff where we don't spell things out
Mm-hmm.
anymore. I feel like that's where everything started from. Because I'm like, I was never this bad. But then I feel like after like the little slang stuff, and then I'll sit there and mix Spanish and English sometimes. And it's just like,
Even harder.
so now I'm kind of like retraining my brain again to like, okay, because I have to be able to, email someone and, it sound professional. How do you delegate or, prioritize things at work?
Well, as far as delegating, I really don't have anybody to delegate it to right now because the other person that had the same job as I had, she moved to another job. So right now it's not really about delegating. But in the past, I tried to, but I feel like I lacked the communication part. I really didn't. And I feel like I lack it in so many areas that I am trying. I ask God every single day, help me learn to communicate because I feel like I have a lot of work to do in that area. But how do I delegate when I did have the opportunity? Is I try to have a to-do list.
Oh.
And at work I use my calendar a lot.
I don't.
Help the student calendar, help this other student calendar, answered emails calendar. So that does hold me accountable too as to what I did throughout the day. But I try to make sure what is certainly in my job description to get that done out of the way because it is important. And then sort of, next or lastly, other job duties that are not necessarily in my job description, but that I'm helping out in the moment.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, we are down some people. So I do try to be helpful. I try to be, do the best for the students. Because at the end of the day, they also have their goals, their plans, and that's why they chose where I work. So I try to have that calendar up and ready every single day. And then whatever I can delegate.
How do you do that every single day? Because I personally have tried the calendar thing and it does not work for me. To-do list, honestly, is not as bad if I wouldn't lose the papers every time I would write them. My problem is that I lose things. But how do you do calendar? Like, how do you say like I could make a calendar for a week, but then I'll forget it.
Uh-huh.
Like, how do you not forget? Oh, I gotta do calendar.
Well, I honestly don't know, but I feel like since I've been practicing the calendar ever since I started, now it just comes natural. Like it's part of my routine when I get to work.
Okay.
Like pull up my Outlook, pull up my calendar, start typing what I'm gonna do, what I'm doing, what I did.
Okay.
And I also feel like it helps me know, like if somebody comes and asks me, well, what did you do today? Well, I did this amount of this amount of that. So it holds me accountable a lot.
So maybe I just need practice.
Maybe, because I've been doing it at the place I'm at. I've been working almost 12 years. But ever since then, I've always practiced the calendar.
I'll be honest, I think, because I've been working childcare since like 10 years now. But I was never a calendar person. And I always look at all my other teachers and stuff like that. And I'm like, dang, I envy you because it just looks so nice. Like they have their little calendars up and everything. And I'm like, dang. And then there's me not remembering anything. Then come day of and I'm like, ooh, we got that to do today. Okay. I didn't know. I forgot, kind of thing. Because now what I do is I set reminders in my phone or sticky notes. You'll find a sticky note everywhere. But I feel like my past director, who's no longer our director from like the job that I'm at now, she was really big on sticky notes. And I feel like since then, I kind of because I was so used to the sticky notes, it's just something that I kind of picked up.
Yeah.
So now I just do. So I just literally write it down, post it somewhere. But sometimes the only problem with that is that I lose the sticky note.
Right.
And I'm like,
That
oh
would
my
be my
God.
fear. That would be my fear. And then where did I put the sticky note?
Yeah.
And in your calendar, you don't lose it. It's right there.
So maybe I'll try it again. It's just, I just know that for me, it's never like the time that I have tried, it lasted a good week and yeah, maybe 3 days and that was it. And it was like, oh yeah, I had a calendar. That's right. But I don't know what it is. I don't know. I can do for other people, but for me to follow through on them, it's like, yeah, right. Like, but I will say that I don't know if it's just me, but I do have like an internal like little clock that kind of dings every time. Like I know I'm supposed to be doing something. So even when I do lose the sticky notes in my brain, when it goes off, it's like you're supposed to be doing something, but you don't know what it is. And it's kind of like trying to figure out. That's why I love the sticky notes. Because even in my car, I don't know if you've ever seen, I would have like a to-do list.
Yeah.
And it would help. And I'd be like, oh, okay, I got to go do this and stuff like that. And then I'll just mark it off as I go. But when I lose it, it's like, and then my problem is that my brain doesn't calm down. It only makes everything worse. So I start to kind of like overstress and overwhelm and everything. And it's like, until I can figure out exactly what it was, I can't calm down. Like it's just pending there, like a little red alert that goes off, like hello. It's so annoying. But maybe I'll give the calendar a try again.
You should. I really like mine, and I also have birthdays on them. And since I check it every day, I know, oh, so and so's birthday is today, or so and so's birthday is tomorrow. Because if not, I will not remember.
Y'all know, my niece's birthday was June 14th, right? I called her 2-3 days later to wish her a happy birthday, only because I was talking to my mom earlier. And my mom said to me, yeah, did you call her to say happy birthday? I'm like, Mama, her birthday's not until the 16th, or the 16th or the 21st, I think I told her. And my mom was like, no, her birthday is the 14th. Your sister is the 24th. And I was like, girl, I would have forgotten my sister's birthday too, to be honest with you, because in my head, hers was the 22nd. I was like, dang. And I'm sitting there like, so I called her and my sister was like, wow. Wow. And she's like, I knew you forgot. I'm like, I didn't forget. I just thought it was a different date. And she said, why don't you write it down somewhere? And I'm like, well, I really should. But birthdays is not a priority to me. I don't know what it is, but it's not. I've actually forgotten my own birthday. I don't know what it is. I mean, birthdays are cool and all, but it's not like a big thing. The only time I ever made it a big thing was because I really wanted to do a Bridgerton theme party. It was the only reason why I made my birthday important, because even I think my mom, I don't know who had said something, that they were surprised that I was throwing a birthday party. Because I'm more of, can we just like not do it?
Make it a big deal.
Kind of person. It's kind of like whatever.
No, my family, it's always been a big deal. Birthdays are a big deal.
That is how my mom is, and it's like my mom would annoy me, and I'm like, Mom.
But I do think it does come. You do come to an age where all you really care is for your immediate family to be there and like seeing to you. That is beautiful.
Maybe.
It does come a point when you just want that. I guess the older you get.
Maybe. I feel like the older I got, it's the more that I've gotten more like, I don't really want to. But then again, it's like my husband said one day, I feel like it's because we don't have kids. So we really don't understand. Because I will say this. The other day that I went to, I know this is very off topic, y'all. We're sorry. The other day that I went shopping for a prom dress for one of my nieces, I went with her. It was really, really nice to see her, try it on and doing all these little things that I hated at that age.
Oh.
And my mom always was like all about them,
Yeah.
But like looking at her doing all this, I kind of realized, I'm like, oh, now I see why my mom was always, very like, I want to see you do this, or why she was very mad because I didn't want my 15 and everything like that. Now I kind of understand, like, oh, she just wanted the moments. It really wasn't the
right.
The things. So I do sometimes when my husband says, it's because we don't have kids. I feel like we just don't connect on that level yet. It won't be until you really actually have yours to understand how important these things are. So I can see why your mom and then or my mom make them so so big. And I'm like, okay.
Which I love, because at the end of the day, it's their day, and what most to celebrate your loved ones.
That's true. Getting back, topic. Work-life balance is a challenge, but I feel like it takes time and practice to be able to get used to it. But I also do feel like identity goes within it too. Because like we were talking about last week, until you truly know yourself and what you like and what you need for your mental health. Because at the end of the day, the person you're running to the ground is yourself. It's nobody else. You're not taking nobody else's time. You're only taking from your time. You're only taking from your peace. So I do feel like knowing, how you like things is also very important. But also, like you said, communication is the biggest thing that you can have with work-life balance. Because the other person doesn't know. They don't know, what's going on. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know how you feel. I know sometimes, I know some people might feel that I come off a bit snip and dry. Because they'll say something, I'm like, okay, well, what do you want? And it's not me asking out of annoyances. It's me asking truly because I can't read. Like, what I want to say is, I can't read your mind. Like, tell me what you want so I can do what you need. But I know sometimes I come off a little bit like very strong when I say that. But literally, it is me encouraging you to tell you, hey, I need to know what you want, because I can't, like, if you don't, I'm starting to freak out. And it's like, I really want to know. But I feel like that's one of the biggest things that we struggle as human beings is communication. Everywhere. In everything. I don't know what it is, but communication is so hard.
And it's because I feel like we go around and we think people think the way we do, or we think they understood the way we understood. But it's all about the person's perspective. And y'all have said it in the past with Terry. Like, every single person has a different perspective.
Yes, very much.
And like, whenever our boss at work tells us something, one coworker takes it one way, you take it another way.
Yeah.
And the other person took it a totally different way.
Yeah. And see, I've seen that a lot more because I used to always be on the side that works for the boss. And sometimes you get instructions and you're like, oh my gosh, like, why? Like, why do you do this to us? But now that I'm working more on like with admin, because I have been for like the past 2 years, I've been learning more of admin side, past 3 years maybe. I'm starting to see a lot of what plays behind the scenes. And sometimes it's really not that your boss wants to get on your nerves, is that they really don't have another option. Like, this is what needs to be done. And whether we like it or not, it's going to happen.
Because it's probably something that their boss is telling them to do.
And that is crazy.
It is.
Because then I start to realize, I'm like, dang, well, if you would have just told me, this is happening, I could have took this a little better. Right. Like, if you would have led with, because of this is what we have to do, maybe sometimes we could take things a little better. And I feel like I said, lack of communications sometimes. And I always hear that, even working as it is now, I always hear it's because there's a lack of communication. There's a lack of communication. Yeah. And I'm like, I understand, because honestly, we really don't. Like, you don't understand me, I don't understand you, but it's not because we don't want to. It's just that
there's that misunderstanding.
Yeah, like, there's, like, whatever. And every role has a different role. So
Yeah.
your role isn't to understand what's going on the admin side of, this. Your role is to do your teaching job, and that is your
Yeah.
only function. So whenever someone comes down and tells you you're not doing this right, and you're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
But what you didn't understand is now you were doing it right, but now it's changing. So now you got to change. So it comes off a little bit different,
Yeah.
which I am working on very much. I feel like for me, once I started to understand the differences of perspectives, I started to view and talk to people a little bit different. Because I was always very defensive or very ugly. I will say ugly because I was ugly. Like I would be very ugly towards others because I would be like, "What do you mean?" Like, no, like kind of thing. But now I'm starting to realize like that's not really what they were trying to come off as. Like if you would really sit down and actually understand perspectives, then And then also there are things that I'm like, dang, I could have just asked.
Yeah.
Like I could have just asked. Like the communicate. Like sometimes even with my boss, I'm like, because when the boss gives orders, you hear it from someone and someone else, and instead of going to the source directly, you're over here mad and stressed and overwhelmed, and then you're kind of like in an ill mood. And if I would have just gone and asked, that could have been better explained to me, and maybe all the extra things that I did wouldn't have happened.
Right. But see, then we go again. Maybe we are just not confrontational, because that's what it is.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah. I will say, I don't know. I feel like I am pretty confrontational.
Yeah.
Like, I have never had fear of.
I'm not.
I am.
That is one thing I am not.
I feel like to a degree, you also have to learn to choose when to be confrontational, because sometimes the bomb has already set off and then you're just adding more. And it's like, I don't think this is the right time to talk about this, but let's chill out, until we can figure this out. But confrontation has never really been an issue for me. Like I do not mind hitting things head on. Even within friend groups, I've always been pretty much, well, I don't know what you want from me kind of person. Like, but I have learned, but then again, that came from learning who you are. I have learned that if I do not speak up for myself, no one else.
True.
I'd rather be clear and communicate to you what I want or expect. And if it can't be met, I've also learned that you also have to learn that not everybody can meet the expectations that you have set out. And that is okay. Every person has their own forte. Which, sometimes knowing your own forte, even in your own workplace, is also really good. Because if you're not good at, like, I'm honest, I'm not good at parent-teacher conferences. But I'm always in the fear of I might say something that they don't like. And I really don't mean it in that way, but it's just that my facial expressions and my posture speak for me. So
that you're afraid that it might be misunderstood.
So I always like for someone else to take,
the
take
lead.
that. Yeah. I'm like, I delegate that on to you. But it's not that I can't do it. It's just, it's not something that I'm good at. And I've understood that. I've understood that, and I liked it to watch as well, because I learned, and I'm like, oh, I see how she did that, or how she worded that. And I'm like, oh, okay. And trust, I do watch. I will watch someone, and I'm like, oh, I like what she did, kind of thing. But I mean, that's me knowing I'm not good at this, so I need to learn from someone else that that really excels at this.
Yeah.
And like some people tell me I'm not good at public speaking.
They've told you?
No, like I mean, like they'll come up and tell me like, yeah, honey, you're not good at public speaking. I'm like, yeah, I know, I know, and I don't. I used to get offended, but now I'm like, no, they really do tell me like, because most of them always come like with little tips here and there.
Okay.
They're always like, you get very nervous and like, because you can tell like my voice starts to tremble, and it sounds like I'm about to cry.
Oh.
But I'm like, I don't mean to. It's just that I don't know what it is, but being in front of like other people, it kind of like, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why I'm not good at a parent-teacher conference. Like, I just feel like on the spot, and I feel like I'm in a hot seat. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. I just feel fear. I start to get sweaty. I get hot. I get flushed. But that's why I always tell people, I'm like, I don't like doing this. Like, I don't mind doing your behind the scenes, but I don't like doing this. This was hard. This was hard. And Teresa can testify to that, because good Lord, the first time we ever videoed, oh my gosh, I felt so bad for her, but I could not get myself together. But it was just like, I was so scared.
But y'all did so good. I rewatched that video because I was like, let me see, how am I going to act? And it was just so good. I loved it.
But not for me. I was dying on the inside. I really wanted to cry all the time.
Y'all did really good.
Don't quit your job just because it's overwhelming.
It'll get better.
Yeah, just because. Now, I'm not saying stay somewhere where it's toxic. Like, you know the difference between toxic, and you know the difference between maybe
patch.
Or maybe I need to speak out so people can understand that I'm not good where I'm at and I need help. Asking for help is not wrong. Asking for help does not mean you are weak. Asking for help does not mean you are incompetent. Do not ever think that. You are incompetent whenever you don't ask for help. Because at that point, you're not using the resources that are there to get you to the next step. Ask for help.
Yeah.
Communicate. Speak up. But also balance your work life. Because at the end of the day, like I said, who you are running to the ground is yourself. And if you don't balance it, the only person who's going to get sick, the only person who's going to be overwhelmed, the only person who's going to go home crying every day is you. And you don't have gray hair. Yeah. And you don't want that to happen. You always, I'm not going to say that your job is always going to be cupcakes and rainbows and it's, happy and everything. No.
Because there are hard days.
Yeah.
There are bad days.
Yeah.
There are great days.
And you have to understand that your expectations will not always be met. And that is perfectly okay. But every day is a new day, and treat it as such.
Yeah.
But communication is key. And we've said that in the past podcasts. And communication is for everything.
And we'll be saying these podcasts. Because it is important.
Yeah. Like, honestly, it really is. If you don't know how to communicate, it is really hard to, like, do things. Even in your home life. Like, if I don't communicate with my husband, he's not going to know what to do.
And we think they do.
Yeah.
Because you see a trash can, right? We, in our nature, will pick it up, throw it in the trash can. But in other eyes,
they're going to get it. And it's not like that.
No.
No, but honestly, it really is. Like, that's one of the things at the beginning of my marriage, it was one of them, like, things that we had an issue with. Was because in my brain, I have already made this itinerary. I've already made this plan. I've already, thought this process out. And you're not meeting none of that. But in his little brain, he don't even know what's going on. Like, he's like, what are you talking about? When was I told this? Like, again, communication.
Yeah.
But communication is, helpful in anything, especially work. Work is not always fun. Sometimes it is. Sometimes work makes you feel like you want to quit. Don't do it. Find the solution, because sometimes it could be as easy as delegating. It can be as easy as prioritizing, making to-do lists, maybe getting a calendar.
A cute one.
Yeah. I feel like maybe that's what I do need. A little cute thing. So maybe I want to look at it. It could be, speaking up. Telling someone, hey, this is too much. I can't do this.
Yeah.
And that is okay. When you are drowning, it is okay to ask for help. But find the solution first before you decide to quit. Because sometimes I feel like some of us quit jobs that we really love out of
emotions.
And if you are in a toxic place, run. You know the difference. But thank you for joining us on another episode here on Sip and Chat. And we hope to see you back for our next episode.
Yeah. Leave your comments of what you want us to talk about.
Yes.
We'll be reading.
If you have any questions, you can comment, but please follow, subscribe, and like on all our platforms, please, and thank you, and share us. Please share.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.